vegetarian in China. And including our presentation, we'll present you the history of the vegetarian and the definition of vegetarian and the background of vegetarian, as well as the past development, the current situation, and looking forward the future trend. And we will use two related series. The first one is Master Hierarchy Model, and the second will be the Cultural Capital series. And in the end, we will present like recommendations for the related restaurant. I'm Ricci. I will present you the background of vegetarian and the impact of vegetarian to F&B industry and China.
Hello, I'm Astoria, and I'm going to talk about the Chinese vegetarian history and the development of the future.
Hello, I'm Suhail. I'm going to talk about the development vegetarian food in China from the past until now.
Hi, I'm Shelia. I'm going to talk about the vegetarian special culture in China and how to make the dishes. And anti-meat, why should we eat less meat?
Here's a definition of vegetarian. A vegetarian is someone who lives on a diet of grain, nuts, seeds, vegetables, fruits, or other non-animal based foods. Vegetarians may be adopted for various reasons. Many people object to eating meat out of respect for sentient life. Such ethic motivations have been codified under various religion beliefs, as well as support of animal rights. Other motivations for vegetarians are healthy-related, political, environment, culture, or personal preference. Here is the background of the vegetarian. The vegetarian the word is since 1839. And that word was used to refer that vegetable diet. And there are a lot of famous vegetarians in the history, including Thomas Edison, Albert Einstein, and Steve Jobs.
When we're talking about vegetarian, we always think about the Buddhism here in China. And people always think about them. In fact, the Chinese vegetarian origin does not no matter with the Buddhism. Due to the fear of ghosts and worship ancestors, activities of the ritual leaded to the fasting vegetarian system and habit. Another concept of vegetarianism is derived from the pursuit of longevity. Early years, in order to raise vegetarian remarks, people always link vegetarian with to become an immortal. And this picture is about the worship ancestors. Is spring and autumn period. The earliest Chinese vegetarian concept is from the spring and autumn period. At that time, Buddhism has not yet passed into China, but after Buddhists have been popular in China, the monastery always use vegetarian, which promotes its influx of that time. In the Northern Song Dynasty, here, there were many vegetarian snack shops. Right here, this is the later Qing Dynasty. In the later of Qing Dynasty, Hangzhou has dozens of vegetarian restaurants. In the period of Republic of China, the famous vegetarian restaurant Gongzhelin was founded in 1922 and continues to this day. It's a very famous restaurant.
Okay, for present Chinese vegetarian, I'm going to talk about the increased amount. As the economic grows, the number of Chinese people consuming meat is increasing rapidly. The experts worry that if the Chinese consumption of the meal to the number of Westerns will bring a diversity impact on the economical environment. The good news is, in recent years, the gradual increase in the Chinese vegetarian. Now, in China, about 15 million people are vegetarian, accounting for less than 4% of Chinese 1.4 billion population. However, 11% of population in Australia is vegetarian, and 30% in India. With the changing times, the attitude toward the vegetarian has changed, because the number of vegetarian has increased years by years, and vegetarian restaurants are becoming more and more catering to the needs of the customer. Now in China, as a vegetarian, it's more easier than past. They can find more vegetarian restaurants in big cities like Shanghai and Beijing.
Vegetarian cooking was introduced to China by Buddhists before 2000 years ago. Most Chinese vegetarians are vegetarian because of their religion. They are Buddhists, following the Buddhist teaching about minimizing suffering. Over the centuries, Chinese vegetarian cooking has developed into Chinese cuisine into its own right. In the same way, the vegetarianism is popular with the people who are very health conscious in the West in order to keep healthy and fit. And now more and more Chinese people who are not vegetarian or vegan tend to eat vegetarian food because they want to take care of their body health. And nowadays a lot of Chinese restaurants they provide vegetarian food because many youngs they like it, and they become more and the vegetarian food become more trend and fashion.
Now I'm going to talk about there's a reason why the more and more people are going to be the vegetarian in China. Because the person they are going to anti-meat and protect the animals. Animals often affect some disease which are often perceived by meat traders or inspectors. When a part of the animal's body grows cancer and tumor, the animals just without treatment cut off the sick part, and the rest of the meat will still sent to the market for sale. Worse still, many of parts with the tumor will mixed into the meat to make the hot dog, ham, or something stuff like this. Scientists experiment found that if you use the liver of a sick animal to feed in the fish will get the cancer. Also, for the human digestive system is not really suitable for eating too much meat. So the people who eat too much meat will often complain about the difficult of excretion. Because of the meat is with a little fiber, so in the digestive trend moved very slowly. Because compared to the cereals and the fruit and the vegetables, it will be around 4 times slower. So many people suffering from chronic constipation. Another reason is for the protect animals, because there are too much people. They are going to catch the wild animals for selling and for eat in China. So the people they want to protect the animals, they are going to avoid eat meat. They are become to be the vegetarian.
The long history and the culture of the vegetarian food uh, helps the marketing and development of it, and a solid foundation with a broad space for development. In the 21st century, in the development of procedure force and technological progress are at the same time, the natural environment of human survival has been difficult to make up for the damage. With the SARS and avian flu, and other decisions from a different point of view, many people began to promote vegetarianism. Vegetarian contains a simple concept of sustainable development. More and more people have the concept of health. People will pay more attention to diet. And at the same time, because of people are curious about new things, they will prefer to try different foods. In addition to the Buddhist vegetarian aspect, the Buddhist temple in the tourism destination has a large part of the proportion. People travel to a temple will also want to try the Buddhist vegetarian as a very different experience. The Chinese vegetarian food is rich in Chinese cultural tourism products in important content. Previous people eat vegetarian mainly because of religious reasons, but now there are more different reasons. Vegetarian must become more people choice. Although the vegetarian in a period of time will still be a small crowd of choice, but the vegetarian has become a part worth exploring. We choose two series. The first one is the culture capital series. And due to the culture capital series, high-level education background will have more clear demand. They can understand more high-level view. Same the basic on the Maslow series. Here we correct the Maslow's theory of this one is the Maslow theory, and here we create as the won't be hungry and have enough food, the food you like, the food should eat, and the healthy food you need. And we think the vegetarian food should be this level, the healthy food that you need. This kind of people have higher consumption. Therefore, they have ability and the interest to think about other facts except basic needs on food and beverage, such as our theme vegetarian food. For their health, their interest and their for their interest and for their belief.
The vegetarian impact for F&B industry are the following two aspects. With an increased amount of vegetarians, more vegetarian-themed restaurants open in China, and even not the specific vegetarian restaurant put forward vegetarian dishes in menu to meet the increasing needs of vegetarian nowadays. The vegetarian impact to China are these two aspects. Because of healthy concept of vegetarians, many people consider about their health and become vegetarians in China in order to live in a healthy lifestyle. According to the data, until 2015, there is more than 15 million vegetarians in China. And with the development of the people living standard, people are willing to have a diverse dining experience. Not only vegetarians consume vegetarian food, but also people who want to try new dining experience will be influenced and have a try about the veg food. Here is the recommendations for the vegetarian restaurant, and there are three types of the restaurant. And first is the traditional Buddhist vegetarian restaurant, then the vegetarian restaurant, and the normal restaurant. And for the traditional Buddhist restaurant, some of the restaurants only provide limited dishes choice for the customers, which cannot meet the customer needs. So this kind of restaurant need to make innovations about the dishes to attract more customers. And for the vegetarian themed restaurant, the prices are relevant high and expensive for the customers. For people who are non-vegetarians, the high price will affect their consumption. So the vegetarian theme restaurant can have the promotions to attract more customers. And for the normal restaurant, due to the increasing amount of the vegetarians nowadays, the normal restaurant need to provide veg dishes in their menus to meet customer needs.